The fall of Lucifer, the origin of evil. Evil. It is a word that strikes fear into our hearts and casts a shadow over our world. We often find ourselves asking, where did evil come from? How did something so destructive and painful enter the good world that God created? And most importantly, how does it relate to us? To answer these questions, we must look to the very beginning, to a time before sin entered humanity, and a figure who once stood in the highest of all heavenly places, the archangel Lucifer. The story of Lucifer's fall is not just one of rebellion and ruin, but it is the foundation of understanding the existence of evil in a world that was meant to be pure and good. The perfect creation, a world without evil. At the dawn of creation, when God fashioned the universe, He saw everything He made and declared it very good. Genesis 1:31. There was harmony in the universe. Everything was aligned with God's will. There was no evil, no suffering, and no sin. This pristine creation included the heavenly hosts, the angels, who were created by God to serve Him and glorify His name. Among them, one angel was particularly beautiful, wise, and powerful, a being known as Lucifer. Lucifer was a radiant being, adorned with the finest gifts from God. His very name means light bringer or morning star. He was created perfect in beauty and intelligence, a leader among the angels, and a being who was meant to reflect the splendor of God's glory. But in the freedom that God gave to all His creatures, Lucifer was granted the ability to choose. The tragedy of Lucifer's fall lies in the choice he made. The pride of Lucifer, the root of his fall. Lucifer's fall did not happen overnight. It began in the depths of his heart, a heart that was once filled with the light of God's love. The Bible does not give us all the details of Lucifer's internal struggle, but the prophet Isaiah offers us a glimpse of the pride that led to his rebellion. In Isaiah 14:12-15, Lucifer is depicted as saying, "How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." Lucifer, once a servant of God, desired something more, something that was never his to claim. His pride led him to believe that he could ascend to the throne of God, that he could be like God, even take God's place. This was the first seed of sin. Pride, the desire to place oneself above God. Lucifer wanted not just to be the most beautiful and powerful of all creatures. He wanted to be the Creator himself. The rebellion, a battle in heaven. Lucifer's pride became a force that could no longer be contained. He was not content with the position given to him by God, and so he led a rebellion in heaven. The book of Revelation provides a vivid image of this cosmic battle. There was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. Revelation 12:7. This dragon is none other than Lucifer, now known as Satan, who led a group of angels in his defiance against God. The rebellion, however, was short-lived. Lucifer and his followers were defeated. They were cast out of heaven and into the abyss, their light extinguished, their beauty tarnished. The glory that Lucifer once reflected was now replaced by darkness. As the Apostle Peter writes, "For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them into gloomy dungeons to be held for judgment," 2 Peter 2:4. Lucifer's fall was complete. The consequence of rebellion, the origin of evil. Lucifer's fall is more than just the story of an angel's rebellion. It marks the beginning of evil in the world. Before Lucifer's prideful rebellion, there was no sin, no evil, and no suffering. Evil did not come from God. It came from the free will of his creatures. God created the angels and humanity with the freedom to choose love and obedience, but this same freedom allowed the possibility of rejecting him. The evil that Lucifer introduced into the universe was not a created substance, but a result of his own willful decision to turn away from God. It is important to understand that evil is not a thing in itself, but the absence of good, the turning away from the fullness of truth, beauty, and goodness that is found only in God. Lucifer, in his pride, rejected the goodness of God, and, in doing so, introduced disorder, deception, and hatred into a world that was originally filled with light. This rebellion also led to the corruption of the angels who followed Lucifer. These fallen angels, now known as demons, became agents of evil, spreading their influence in the world. Their ultimate goal is to lead human beings away from God, to destroy the harmony that God originally intended for creation, and to drag as many souls as possible into eternal separation from Him. The impact on humanity, the fall and temptation. While Lucifer's rebellion took place in the heavenly realms, its consequences were not confined to angels. Satan's desire for power and control eventually led him to turn his attention to humanity. The fall of Lucifer laid the groundwork for the temptation of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. The very first sin, the original sin, was a result of Satan's deceit. He appeared to Eve in the form of a serpent, planting seeds of doubt about God's goodness and convincing her to disobey God's command. Genesis 4:1-6. Just as Lucifer's pride led to his fall, so too did the pride of Adam and Eve, who sought to be like God by eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The moment they sinned, evil entered the world, bringing with it pain, suffering, and death. From that moment on, humanity would be caught in the ongoing battle between good and evil, a battle that began in the heavens and continues in our hearts and minds. This was the first time humanity experienced the consequence of sin, spiritual death, separation from God, and the introduction of suffering and death into the world. As a result, every human being born after Adam and Eve inherits this fallen nature. Subject to the influence of sin, temptation, and the evil that Lucifer introduced. The effects of Lucifer's rebellion and humanity's original sin are still evident today in our struggles with temptation, moral weakness, and suffering. The hope of redemption, Christ's victory over evil. The story of Lucifer's fall and the origin of evil may seem like a tragedy with no hope, but the beauty of the Christian faith is that God did not leave us to face this darkness alone. God sent His Son, Jesus Christ, into the world to conquer the very evil that Lucifer introduced. Through His life, death, and resurrection, Jesus defeated Satan, disarmed the powers of darkness, and opened the door to salvation for all who would trust in Him. In the Gospel of John, Jesus says, "Now is the judgment of this world. Now will the ruler of this world be cast out." John 12:31. Through His sacrifice on the cross, Jesus rendered Satan powerless, offering the world the hope of redemption. As St. Paul writes, He disarmed the rulers and authorities and put them to open shame by triumphing over them in Him, the cross. Colossians 2:15. The fall of Lucifer, the origin of evil, is not the end of the story. God, in His mercy, has provided a way for us to be restored, to rise above the temptation of sin, and to be transformed into the image of Christ. In the battle against evil, we are not left alone. God's grace strengthens us, His word guides us, and the church supports us. Jesus' victory over evil began in His earthly ministry, where He cast out demons and healed the sick. And it culminated in His ultimate triumph over death and Satan at the cross. His resurrection sealed the defeat of Lucifer, and with it, the hope that one day evil will be completely eradicated from the world. The Church teaches that in the end, Satan will be thrown into the lake of fire, Revelation 20:10, and God will restore all things to their original goodness. The role of the Christian in the battle against evil. As Christians, we are not passive spectators in the spiritual battle. Just as Lucifer had free will to choose to rebel, so too do we. The choice to resist evil, to fight against temptation, and to stand firm in the faith is one that each of us must make daily. The fall of Lucifer serves as a warning to all who would seek to elevate themselves above God or live in defiance of His will. It is a call to humility, to recognize that our freedom comes with responsibility. The Christian's role in the battle against evil involves embracing the grace of God, relying on the strength of the Holy Spirit, and living out the virtues that Christ taught: love, humility, forgiveness, and courage. We are called to be soldiers of light, standing firm against the darkness and spreading the good news of Jesus Christ, who is the ultimate victor over evil. Conclusion: understanding evil, choosing good. The story of Lucifer's fall teaches us an important lesson. Evil is not something God created, but something that emerged from the misuse of free will. It is a reminder that we are not passive in the spiritual battle. Just as Lucifer was created with free will, so too are we. We can choose to embrace the light of Christ or to succumb to the darkness of sin. The fall of Lucifer is a warning and a call to vigilance. In a world that is often filled with darkness, it is easy to become overwhelmed by evil. Yet, through the lens of faith, we understand that the power of evil is limited and that God's plan for redemption is greater. The story of Lucifer's fall is not a story without hope. It is the story of the triumph of God's love over the forces of darkness. And as we look to Christ, we can find the strength to overcome the evil in our own lives, secure in the knowledge that in the end, God's victory is certain. By understanding the origin of evil, we are better equipped to face the temptations that come our way. And by relying on God's grace, we can live in the light of His love, resisting the pride and rebellion that once led Lucifer astray.